already. This was an important tournament for me because yeah, obviously playing in the US and being a big part of the national team. But right now I'm okay. I'm in the right place. Together with my family. I'm lucky to have this family with me, and now is, yeah, be positive every day and working really hard to be even stronger. Yeah. So that's my aim right now.
And Xavi, one word you've mentioned a couple of times in this interview already is family. And you've spoken about the importance of your family throughout your whole career. You have pre-match rituals of FaceTiming with them. How have they supported you in your phase of recovery from this ACL injury?
Yeah, obviously they are with me always in the good times and in the bad times. But yeah, as I told you, yeah, when I received the news that that I had the ACL 2 days after my mom came at my house, and she directly said to me, okay, it's time to stop crying. We have to look forward and to be positive, and it's like that. I'm lucky that I have a mom like that, and right now it's at the stage where I am right now. So yeah, that's important for me.
What have you learned about yourself during these last few months? If there's anything new that you've learned about yourself, given that you've had to overcome such adversity?
Yeah, I knew I love football because I've played my whole life. But the first week, I was really conscious about um, not being able to walk and not being able to do things on my own. And I think that was a really impressive shock for me because, as I told you before, I never had big injuries. Yeah, not being able to stand up alone or not being able to go to the toilet alone, that was something that had a really big impact on me. And yeah, maybe because we are so busy in our life and doing all these things in a daily basis that we are not too conscious about just little things in life. And I think that's something that stuck with me.
Xavi, that's exactly what I felt in, you know, coming out of the hospital after about a month or so. I'm in a wheelchair, then I get to crutches, but you're forced to think about the future without football in it. And without football in it, because we're so tied to that being part of our identity, that you're thinking, what else is out there? Oh my God, there's so much more to life without the game. So you start to think, hey, when I'm done playing, I got to start thinking about, potentially what will I do? What will I want to do? What will bring me happiness?
Yeah, of course, it's something that when you're there a week alone in bed and you're not able to do nothing, that is when the mind starts to play in your head and to think about things. And obviously now the stage where I am right now, I'm already walking, already picking up muscle on my legs. Yeah, there are things that I maybe think, okay, I would like to do this or to spend my time on this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're a couple of months into the recovery process now. What signs of progress have you seen that have given you confidence moving into the summer?
Yeah, I'm really happy where I am right now because, as I told you before, yeah, I was not able to do things on my own, even not walking. And right now, I can walk on my own. I can do proper strength on my leg, and I'm taking it day by day. I know it's in process, and I have to embrace that. And every day, I'm waking up and looking into the next target. So that's my mindset in this recovery.
So Xavi, I don't know if you know, but Hannah here, her brother is the right back for Aston Villa, Matty Cash. So I'm sure you've had a couple of run-ins with him already. So looking to the future, right now, what gives you hope?
Oh, what gives me hope? Obviously, seeing the World Cup now on the television gives me more motivation and more, yeah, that fire to keep going more. And I have dreams that I want to achieve, and I know I'm going to achieve it. So putting the work into it, and obviously coming up the next tournaments that are coming, that are my main goals. And obviously with my club Tottenham Hotspur, I want to achieve big things. So that's for me my main goal. Yeah.
Get more from your holiday with 2E. Get more
You mentioned Tottenham there. What did you see in the last couple of weeks of the season? Because you guys were in a relegation battle, and then you got your new manager, De Zerbi, coming. What kind of things did you see in those last couple of weeks that give you confidence going into the next season and your future with the club?
Yeah, it has been a really difficult season, especially for the fans, I would say. But yeah, with the new coach coming up, like Roberto, we were really happy with him. I think there were a really good connection between the players and the staff, and at that you could see the last couple of games. Even though me, the last 2 3 games I couldn't play, but I was seeing on the pitch, yeah, like the guys had a new boost and new vibe on the pitch, and that was something really positive. And now going into the next season, I think really big things are coming up with the coach.
What did he do specifically for your club, for maybe the attacking players, that gives you hope about where Tottenham's heading next? Because it feels like as soon as he came in, you all responded. And I think for you in particular, there's almost like an exciting part because you can be used in so many different ways under De Zerbi.
Yeah, for me, when he came in, a lot of players already spoke about him that I know, and for me was I would say an extra boost because I know the way he wants to play. I know as well, like he was an attacking.
Machado, Pacho, Franco, Hincapié, Moses Caicedo, plenty of familiar names in this lineup. Alcivar has come in as one of 2 changes. Vite, Enner Valencia, of course, 36 years of age, their leading goal scorer of all time. One more today and it's 50, and Plata along with Yeboah. So Alcivar and Estepinian come in for Ordóñez, and Minder, and we're underway with Ecuador all in yellow in possession up against the blue wave of Curacao, the smallest nation ever to qualify for the World Cup, a population of only 156,000. The island is around the same size as the Isle of Man. It is an extraordinary story that they're even here, Rachel.
It's an amazing story, and here on merit as well, of course. You know, nobody gets the World Cup just out of empathy or anyone feeling like you deserve an opportunity for nothing. You've got to earn the right to be there, and they've done that. I watched them in one of the warm-up games. Of course, they faced Scotland, and you know, they've got a threat themselves. We saw them score as well against Germany, of course. A goal that did matter in the moment, but in the end didn't mean too much, other than, of course, the history.
It was some moment, that, wasn't it, for Comenencia to make it 1-1. And the noise was incredible. Eloy Rome is in goal for them. Brenet, Gari, Obispo, Florinus and Fonville. And then you'll recognise the Bacunas, the brothers, Juninho Bacuna and Leandro Bacuna, as Ecuador have got some defending to do here up against Juninho Bacuna, and they win a goal kick. Comenencia, who scored that goal against Germany. Tahith Chong, of course, Manchester United Academy product, and now at Sheffield United. And then Jurgen Locadia up front of Miami FC. So those are the 2 teams. Ball out of play on the near side for a throw-in to Ecuador. Plata, wearing the number 19, gives it to Estepinian, who didn't play in the didn't start the previous game for Ecuador, which they lost 1-0. Ball straight over the top, and an early chance here for Ecuador, and a great save. What a save that is. That is brilliant from Eloy Rome, the 37-year-old. It actually hit the top of the crossbar. That's outstanding goalkeeping, Rachel.
Unbelievable. I mean, he's right. It's a brilliant touch. It cuts across defender. He must only be 6-7 yards out. You think he's just going to pass it in, and he does everything right. It's a wonderful save.
Enner Valencia it was, who was through. He must have thought he had scored. In comes the corner. It's duffed to the near post and cleared away. Really brave. Great chance. It's one of those where you're like, should he have scored, or do you just have to give the credit to the goalkeeper for making a fine save?
I mean, he certainly should have scored, but in that instance, it was a miraculous save. You just anticipate that's going to hit the back of the net, and he made himself big. Valencia hit it with pace, slightly off the ground. We've not yet seen a replay, but it looked as though it hit his upper arm as he extended it out.
Throwing on the far side for Curacao, midway inside their own half. On the left-hand side, they've survived an early scare. It was just a straight ball, straight through the middle. I mean, it's beautifully played. A bit of backspin on it, bit of check. First touch with his left foot from Enner Valencia, and then his second was a side foot, struck firmly, and the keeper guessed the right way, Rome, and flung himself at it. And here are Curacao in possession with Chong. with his blonde highlights bouncing like Tina Turner as he runs down the right-hand side. And they're snapping in with challenges. They work really hard for their manager, Dick Advocaat, of 78 years of age, oldest manager to have managed in the World Cup. Of course, has been there before with the Netherlands and South Korea. Most of these players Dutch, because there's a strong link between the islands. Used to be part of the Netherlands and Teams Islands. Yeah. Independence in 2010 and then applied to FIFA in 2011, and then 15 years later they're at a World Cup finals. So a lot of these players will play in the Eredivisie, and with Dutch speaking. Curacao in possession. Love their kit, the blue with the yellow stripes on the shoulders. Here's Juninho Bacuna, and now here's the other Bacuna. Straight ball through is a good one. Bacuna's linking up really well. Curacao in possession midway inside the Ecuador half. Here is Juninho Bacuna, challenged, and Ecuador have possession back. Interestingly, both of these teams got to the finals in a similar way as Ecuador come down the left-hand side. That's a good ball, actually. And Estupinian tries to slide in Enner Valencia down the left-hand side, but his 36-year-old legs couldn't catch up with that one, and Curacao tidy up back to the goalkeeper. They both got to the finals by basically being hard to beat, not conceding. I mean, Curacao, a little more than Ecuador, proper binary, their goals conceded. They had 4 0-0 draws in a row at one stage, but both of them like to sit deep and then counter.
They do, and it's, to be honest, it's an understandable tactic. It's both managers came in, and certainly the Ecuador manager spoke about the players that he had to work with and the starting point, and he wanted to make sure that they were defensively very, very, you know, solid, disciplined, had a good understanding. And he's clearly worked hard on that because they play different formations. He asked players to do slightly different things. They clearly have great cohesion amongst them, and obviously the detail of what he delivers and asks them to do, they clearly take it on board.
Yeah, Sebastian Becasese is the manager, gets them really well organised. No sort of playing career of note. He's an Argentine, was assistant during Chile's era of success around about a decade ago. His last job before this was at Elche. And here go Ecuador. Ball through towards Enner Valencia. You can hear the amount of Ecuador supporters that are inside the stadium. He holds the ball up, keeps possession. Ecuador have it back in central midfield, midway inside the Curacao half. Pitch looks good. And that's to widen the pitch, as they have at many of these NFL stadiums, because they're a lot narrower. So they're taking about 4,500 tons worth of concrete out from the corners so that they can actually fit a football pitch in there, and spent a load of money making some changes to the seating as well, so that it can be moved in and out so that they can play football there as well as NFL. As Curacao head clear, and then they make a mess of it in midfield, and they've still got some tidying up to do inside their own penalty area, and they clear away. That's lovely from Chong. Chong's away from his man, and it's a 3-on-3 we've got here for Curacao. Chong running through the middle, decides to go right, and just under hits his pass towards Locadia. What an opportunity, Rachel Causey.
It was, and it was a poor pass in the end, because he does so well. He takes the ball on the halfway line and back to goal, does really well, shifts the ball sort of right to left, beats 2 Ecuador defenders, and then he's driving again into the back line. You just think he's got 2 players up with him. You think just slide one either side. They both split, go one each way. You just can't find them.
Intercepted brilliantly, and away go Curacao again on the break down the left-hand side. Locadia is there, and it's a super strike, but it's wide. Dragged wide, right-footed. Oh, it was a really good run. Super run. It was Florinus who found himself in loads of space and decided to go for goal. Struck it well enough, but wide of the target.
He didn't, and I know, I saw you hesitate there as you're thinking, is that who I think it is? Because that is the left-sided centre-back who's just, he did really well, stepped forward, intercepted it, and it was one of those ones he took another 2 positive touches, and before he knew it, he was in a fairly advanced position. Ecuador, and actually backing off, found themselves in a bit of a tricky position. Did well to probably delay the shot and leave a centre-back to shoot from distance. Not a great angle.
I was looking on the wrong part of my sheet for his name. But yeah, the left-sided centre-back was the person streaking away and had the shot on goal. It's nice and open, early stages, actually, for a game that I feared would be very, very circumspect and a bit nervy. Here's Locadia, look way offside, but here's Locadia for Curacao. Lays a little ball inside. Acuna goes down. Surely the flag's just gone up. We can't see it on our screens at the moment, but look way offside, Locadia, and it is a free kick for Ecuador. 0-0. 5 live from the BBC and BBC Sounds.
Yeah, I thought that as well, John. There we go, confirmation as the ball comes through. Again, nice play though, just a little up, back and through. Kadia just a little lazy, that never really gets himself on side. But in the end, he does well. Nice little pass inside as he was running through. Ecuador scrambling to defend the situation.
He's got some look, the Ecuador manager, Bekasese. He looks a bit like Diego Forlan.
I can see that.
He's got blonde hair. He looks like a character from Lord of the Rings. And he's wearing a smashing sort of knitted, short-sleeved, black and white sort of geometric print t-shirt as Ecuador in possession in the centre circle. And now they've got it in the left back spot. And Capier. And that's a nice ball forward. And here they go over the halfway line with Plata. Plata tries to play a ball full through, shouts for handball, waved away by the Chinese referee, and the ball's all the way back in the Ecuador half with the goalkeeper Galindez, who's wearing all turquoise. Ecuador in possession, 10 yards inside the Curacao half. 0-0. Curacao, one of the stories of this World Cup. The blue family, the blue wave, the Pantera Negra, the Black Panther, just a few of their nicknames. Iceland were the previous smallest country to play in the World Cup, and now it is Curacao. They qualified in front of Dwight York's Trinidad and Tobago and Steve McLaren's Jamaica. They got a 0-0 against Jamaica to qualify, beat Bermuda as well on the way to qualification. Ecuador in possession. Lost 2 of 18 qualifiers, Ecuador, and like you mentioned a little bit earlier on during the Gulf, 19 games unbeaten coming into the World Cup.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
It almost felt like it was going to be one of those ones though.
The ball through. Rachel's just stopping because there's a chance for Ecuador and a shot at goal. Left-footed, comfortable for the goalkeeper Rome in the end. But they've found some success, haven't they, Rachel, with that slide rule pass and runners in forward areas.
Yeah, they have, and it's a difficult ball, but great run from Yeboah, out to in. Really tricky ball. It's fairly straight, you can't overhit it. Really easy to put too much on that. But Yeboah got onto it. Good positive touch again, took him into the box, just couldn't quite get a clean strike. But the second real chance where they get to see the goal, just can't make more of it.
Yeah, we were just talking about their route to qualification, and just what an incredible run from September 2024 to be unbeaten for that long.
It absolutely is, and you know, they play some really top teams, you know, in the route that they have to take, and in the continent that they have to compete with. Some real tough game. I think they lost
to Brazil and Argentina away in qualifying. That was it.
Exactly, which, you know, the rest they got great results from. We know how strong the nations are, and I think it was as well just how even the games where they did lose or didn't, you know, they didn't concede 2 goals. I think they've only conceded 2 goals in an even greater number of games. You know, it's a really incredible record, and it almost felt inevitable they were going to potentially come at risk in the opening game of the World Cup, which they did, and that 1-0 defeat to Ivory Coast.
Here go Ecuador into the penalty area. Another chance, an evident goal and wide. That looked like it was heading in from Vite, but he shoveled it wide, and it's a goal kick for Curacao, who are living dangerously.
They are, and again, it's down that right-hand side for Ecuador. Vite just drives into the box. In the end, the defender as well, Obispo, just puts him off. He tries to use his left foot and just bend it into that far corner. He doesn't get enough whip on it. Just sort of ends up being a little straight.
A yard wide, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just wanted it to bend back round and inside that far post.
They're knocking at the door, Ecuador, but on the break, Curacao look like they could score.
They certainly are dangerous.
They break with pace, don't they?
They do. Chong is often at the centre of it. Comenencia as well, very technical player, really creative, likes to pass forward, likes to get at players. And they've got a willing runner, Locadia up front.
Ecuador in possession, 10 yards inside the Curacao half. And I mean, part of the reason that Ecuador have done so well defensively is they've got 2 Champions League finalists in their back 4. In Capier, loser with Arsenal, of course, and Pacho, a winner with Paris Saint-Germain, became the first Ecuadorian to ever win the Champions League last year, and then won it again this year.
Incredible.
Very, very good defensive lineup. He's come in for some stick, actually, the manager, as Ecuador in possession on halfway. Sebastian Becasese, because of the amount of nil-nils and because of the style of football, but he's kind of said, well, most of my strength is in my holding midfield players, as the ball's played forward and Curacao head it clear, and my defence, so I'm going to play to my strengths, despite the fact he's a massive fan of Bielsa and playing expansive football. But he's decided that, well, these are the players I've got, and this is how I think we might be able to go deep in the World Cup. And forward they come, Ecuador through the middle. This is a brilliant run from Plata, but he's just overrun it, ran his studs over the ball. It was a lovely run from him, but Curacao managed to break up the play, and they've got possession deep in their own half.
Yeah, just tried to be too tricky there.
And a challenge and a shot, and a save comfortable. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. They're just giving the ball away in possession, Curacao. In fact, they feel like they should have had a free kick there. But the ball's comfortably through with their goalkeeper, Rome, and it's still 0-0 on BBC Sounds.
Yeah, just a few. I mean, it is very open, like you say. You know, it's both teams are playing in a way where they understand, you know, they've got to get goals. And it's making it actually a very enjoyable half so far. I think probably we're lacking a little bit of quality. Every entry in the final third just fails to have that finer touch about it. As we look back at a few of the chances, a couple of efforts, not really testing either goalkeeper. Both teams will need to be a little more careful.
Locadia up there, Brighton's one-time record signing, a cult figure at Brighton. This season and a half there, 9 goals in 15 games. Paid 14 million to PSV for Locadia. He was up there on his own, 32 years of age, and now Miami FC. And Curacao have got a bit of possession, and they're knocking the ball around. And Ecuador fighting hard to try and win it back. Juninho Acuna has done well. Back to goal. Of course, there was Huddersfield Rangers, and now they've got a bit of space through the middle of the pitch with Comencia, and now Chong with a chance here. Left-footed, strikes it against the defender, and I think the flag had gone up maybe, or there was a handball. He came back and hit Chong on the hand, didn't it? Handball, free kick, Ecuador.
Really unfortunate. I think those are the decisions that seem a little bit harsh in the handball rule. As Chong tried to strike the ball there, it just ricocheted in front of the defender, right probably less than a yard in front of him, and as it pinged up, it hit his hand. I think on the play earlier, just the wrong decision. I think Curacao had 5 players inside the Ecuador box, waiting for a delivery, waiting for something a little more creative. Decision to shoot from outside the box seemed a little bit rash.
Yeah. Ecuador in possession. It's the voice of Rachel Corsi, who was part of our commentary team for the Scotland game the other night. Didn't have much luck, did you? The first penalty shout, John McGinn. I've watched that a load of times, and I mean, it's not an absolute stick-on penalty, but there's no way it would have been overturned, I don't think.
No, certainly not. And I think even John McGinn spoke about it since the game. He knew it was coming, and I think almost because he knew it was coming, he in some way rode the tackle a little bit in a way that looked like he anticipated the contact, but it could have been given. It could have been given, and it was disappointing that it wasn't, but equally I think we probably needed to do a little better with our final third entries as well, a bit like what we've spoken about in this game so far in the early stages. You know, we didn't have too much, which we probably didn't expect to. I thought we defended really well.
When you compare the pace at which you knocked it about compared to this, like, the speed of play was miles better. Here come Ecuador down the left-hand side. Low cross in, and there's a first-time effort. Comes in from Valencia, and again, a bit of luck for Curacao. It's straight to Eloy Rome, the goalkeeper.
It is, but it just took a touch in front of Valencia by Obispo, and it was that touch, you know, it's one of those ones kind of heart and mouth when you're a centre-back. You think, is this going to be directed into my own goal? It wasn't, but it potentially did just put Valencia off. He was just a yard or two behind him, did get a touch. Keeper did well.
It's one of those, just a yard either side of the goalkeeper, it's in, isn't it? So a couple of good chances so far in the game for Ecuador. Valencia's had the best two, and Ecuador in possession again. A ball down the line, good challenge goes in. Curacao clear away through Gari, but only as far as Hincapié, the Arsenal defender who played all 120 minutes of the final in the Champions League final. Premier League winners medal as well. Slide rule pass again, searching out Valencia, but intercepted this time from Curacao. Ball's knocked up towards Chong, and now over the top it goes for Valencia, who holds the ball up. He's running towards the corner flag on the left-hand side with his bleach blonde stripe, haircut short. There's a lot of bleach blonde going on. There's a lot of highlights in this World Cup again. And I'm not talking about the shortened football footage, as here come Ecuador down the right-hand side. Cross into the penalty area is a good one, headed away. Estupinian was waiting. The volley is just kicked thin air there from Alcivar, and behind it goes for a goal kick to Curacao after some good defending.
It was good defending. I think probably delivery was just a little too floated in towards the back post, to the point that the Ecuador players didn't even challenge for the initial ball, because even had they won it, it probably wasn't the type of delivery where if you can get a good bit of purchase on the header and direct it towards goal. It was Hincapié on the edge of the box who came flying in to try and keep the phase alive.
It was just a little accidental, like, finger in the eye of an Ecuador player there, and the referee, Chinese referee, has called it Ma, and it will be a free kick to Ecuador. They take it quickly, and the referee didn't want them to take it quickly, so they're going to bring it back. Commentated on a game last night where the referee was very much the centre of attention in the game, the El Salvadorian referee Barton, as Ecuador come forward. Low cross into the box, cleared away by Curacao, high towards the halfway line, headed back in by Ecuador, headed away again by Curacao. Snap challenge goes in, and the ball is rolling towards the corner flag of Curacao, and back there is Comencia, wearing the number 8. He's having a shirt pull. I'm pretty sure this is going to get blown up for a free kick. He's been challenged. No free kick. It's very lenient from the referee. It's being wrestled there, and they've cleared the ball away, Curacao, and Chong's picked it up, and they might well have a little break here. Vicuña goes down. It could be a booking. Could be a booking, that, for Pacho. He knew what he was doing, because it was a lovely turn from Vicuña. Has he even given the free kick?
I think he has, but it was a few tough tackles there.
Right, we've got the first hydration break. He has given the free kicks. Very difficult to know because the director chose not to look at the referee or the area of the pitch.
Surely he's given that. Sure, although I thought the same as you in the corner, that it looked a foul and coming inside. He did really well, definitely under pressure. And Cappy had a lot of his jersey. And then on top of that, he ended up in a 2v1, got it down the line. Chong just shuffled it a little further down the line to Bakuna. And he just let it roll. Pacho, for his experience, was sold by it and did have to drag him down. Real cynical foul on halfway.
0-0. Ecuador versus Curacao in Group E. Live sport on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And the US Open Golf is wrapping up as well, and James Gregg can give us an update.
Yeah, the end of day 3 here, John, at Shinnecock Hills, and Wyndham Clark, the American who led going into this Saturday of golf in New York State, has extended his lead from 4 to now 6. He's at 7 under par. He leads 4 golfers who are all at 1 under. However, that group includes the world #1, Scottie Scheffler, who was just one of 2 golfers to break par during this 3rd round. So it's set up with a man who everybody is trying to catch, but a very, very hungry chasing pack who are nicely bunched together. You can hear the conclusion on Sports Extra and 5 Live, and of course on BBC Sounds tomorrow from 8 o'clock.
6 shots clear. Wyndham Clark, that is extraordinary to be that far clear heading into the final round. And of course we'll bring you all, James and Ian and the team, Sarah, tomorrow evening here on 5 Live. Still to come later this morning, more World Cup action for you. Tunisia against Japan. Love the fact they're playing a Venga Boys remix here, which reminds me of 99 Ibiza. Tunisia against Japan from 5 a.m. with Maz Farouki and Andy Reid. And then on Sunday evening, we've got Spain, Saudi Arabia from 5, Belgium, Iran at 8, and Uruguay, Cape Verde at 11. And coverage of all of those games available throughout the World Cup on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And I've been loving the World Cup Daily Fix on the Football Daily every morning. Rick Edwards and Lloyd Griffith from the USA, getting you closer to the biggest talking points. Extra insight, bid name guests, and a bit from inside the England and Scotland camps as well on BBC Sounds. So the hydration break coming to an end, or the end of the first quarter. Is that the way we're heading, Rachel? The end of the first quarter of a football match? Is it the sign of things to come? Is this going to be? Is football going to be played in quarters from now on?
I don't think so. I think I can understand the criticism of it, because of course we know that it's become a little bit of a marketable thing, this campaign. I do also know there's a lot of these games are played in extreme heat, so many of these games would have been subjected to a water break anyway. But yeah, let's stick to halves.
Stick to halves, says Rachel. I agree. Yeah, well, last night I mentioned the referee as the game's back underway and Curacao in possession inside their own half. I mentioned the referee. We saw a commentator on the first ever red card for someone covering their mouth while speaking to an opponent. Something I never thought I would commentate on, but it was one of the nicest men in football, Miguel Almiron, sent off. What do you think of that law?
Well, I think unfortunately it's a law that's had to come in because we've had a number of instances recently of abusive and discriminatory language being used that we can't validate because we can't see what's being said. And so I hope that the rule will become something that exists, but we don't speak of it because players will understand you just can't do that.
Here's a chance for Ecuador. It was Plata with a right foot half volley. Nice football, probably the best move of the match from Ecuador. He's about 20 yards out, and it just went straight into the chest of Rome. Yeah, absolutely with you there. Hopefully we won't need to talk about it anymore. It was a couple of seconds, and you got the feeling that Almiron knew exactly what he'd done as soon as he brought his hand down. And yeah, Turkey protested immediately, knowing that they were about to get him sent off.
Yeah, I think it's probably he's the one that, you know, he's got caught in the moment and he's not thought what he's doing in terms of the rule change. But I think it's for the best, unfortunately, in the short term, that players just learn that that's, you know, I know there's there'll be some language shared on the pitch that's on the side of trying to wind your opponent up, but I think we all know you can do that in a manner that doesn't involve discriminatory language. Not that I'm saying Almiron's did, but of course we understand that's where it originates from.
Free kick for Curacao, just a few yards in from the left-hand touchline. We've had 28 minutes, and it's still 0-0. Be quite something if Curacao managed to get a point at this World Cup. They're coming forward through the middle. Maybe they want more than that. It's with Juninho Bacunha, strikes and it hits the back of his own player, which is unfortunate for him. Hits the heels of Brennett and goes behind for a goal kick for Ecuador, which Galindez is going to take. The oval holes cut into the back of his socks. They're taking it short and they'll play out from the back. Ecuador and Curacao try and put a press on them. Here's Estupinian, who goes long, and they've done well. Curacao, they've won possession, and maybe a chance here. Bacunha on his left foot, lovely feet, tries to get it back towards Juninho Bacunha, but can't find him, and now Ecuador might break. Long ball over the top, searching out the run of Plata, and they defended it well. Curacao with a good little spell, just giving the ball away though. It's Brennett who give it away, and now Ecuador in possession on the right-hand side. 0-0, half an hour gone. 5 live from the BBC. Alcivar for Ecuador. Now across from the right, deep bounces on the edge of the 6-yard box, cleared away, thumped away by Curacao towards the halfway line. Hincapié of Arsenal picks it up to Estupinian. The ball inside to Plata. And now Caicedo. Now Yeboah on the right-hand side. Corner of the penalty area, twisting, turning, trying to find a cross. 5 in the middle, waiting for a cross for Ecuador. Goes short instead. Good defending by the Blue Wave, but they've lost the ball on the edge of the box. Little toe poke forward. They felt they should have had a free kick. Referee says no. Curacao in possession in their own penalty area, and they clear away for a throw. When maybe there was a bit more time to do something else.
Yeah, they felt a little bit careless. Just need to tidy up Curacao, and they're confident. They want to play. A few times there they've tried to combine in their own half, just turned it over. They've won it back again, but it's not the smoothest to watch at times. They need to, and I think they just need to be careful in their own half. You wouldn't want to concede a chance and concede a goal from just trying to be too cute.
I don't know what all these whistles are about, I'm sorry, because we're watching a replay still, and the ball's very much in play, and Curacao were attacking with the ball over the top, looking for Lacardia. And they're in possession now again with Chong. It's a good ball. Juninho Bacunha with a little drag back, cleared away. And they're in possession again here are Curacao, down the left-hand side. Juninho Bacunha spins, shot, hits the back of Pacho and dribbles through to the goalkeeper. But they're getting some little sighters, and Bacunha's hurt himself here.
He has. It doesn't look good because there wasn't really anyone around him, and he's putting his hand up. He's got his hand over his knee.
It's his left knee, like yours.
I hope it's not like mine.
Else he'll need a new one.
He looks in quite a bit of discomfort, which is not good to see.
He twisted, didn't he? It's this little spin turn. Oh, you don't like seeing a player go down injured when... Or it's just that he's like spun and his studs have got stuck and he's just twisted his knee a bit, do you think?
It looks a little like that. His heel sort of does, his studs aren't totally caught in the grass, but it does look like it's that motion that's likely been what's caused the damage. It was a good little half turn. He got, as the ball was reversed back to him, it was slightly behind him, so he had to do a sort of pirouette motion to swivel, get the ball under control, and his second touch was then to get the shot away. Didn't quite get much purchase on that. Maybe just the feeling in his knee just threw him off, because almost immediately he sat down.
magic sprays on. Big player to miss if he were to go off. Substitutes for Curacao warming up. And another little team meeting for Ecuador taking place at the moment. Sort of come into the game a bit, haven't they, Curacao?
They have. I think they've looked a little more promising going forward. I still feel Ecuador are a bit hesitant and reserved. They do have a lot of quality in terms of defensive players, but I think, you know, all three of their central midfielders, Vite, Alcivar and Caicedo, they're all a little more disruptive type profiles. I think they're just lacking that player that potentially can probably be the one that gets the ball between lines and just connects play a bit more creatively. I don't feel they've got that rhythm to them at the moment, Ecuador. Meanwhile, Curacao have had less of the ball and the overall share of it, but they attack with great quality, great intensity, good pace, a lot of good movement and combination play.
Well, Ecuador, when they play a side like this, they've got to kind of learn a completely different way of playing with most of the possession. They've been used to playing out of possession for a lot of qualifying, and now here they are with most of the ball. They have unlocked the defence a few times so far, but the goalkeeper has got in the way.
He has, and interestingly, those two attempts they had were sort of quicker attacks. One was just a very direct long ball.
And Capier in possession. And now Estupinian. They're about midway inside the Curacao half. Centre field. Moises Caicedo in possession. Bright cerise pink boots. I mean, most of the boots are bright cerise pink. I think Adidas and Nike and Skechers have all produced a boot the same colour at the same World Cup. There's a little 1-2 trying to play the way through on the edge of the box, and Curacao have intercepted, and then they hack the ball clear over the halfway line. These are all, I mean, most of the players on the pitch are wearing that colour boot, aren't they? Chong isn't.
They are.
Locadia, do you like them?
Well, I think it certainly makes loose passes look a little more obvious when you give it away. So I don't know if they would have been for me.
Clinton Morrison's bought a pair for his son for his birthday.
I thought you were going to say for him, and I thought I can believe that.
I hope his son isn't listening, because it's a surprise. If he is in a taxi on the way home from a night out, well, he's just found out what he's getting for his birthday. Ecuador in possession, 0-0. Lip of the centre circle, they're still in possession. Curacao back in a row of 5, and then a 3, and then a 2. And keeping their shape well, and that's good defending, and it's a throw-in for Ecuador. I've been waiting to drop this stat, but almost 37% of Ecuador's matches under this head coach have been 0-0. 37% of their matches have been 0-0.
Which is remarkable. And
that's a staggering stat, isn't it?
It is. And it probably, you know, it's too harsh to maybe just make blank statements on it, but I think defensively it's a remarkable feat. But attacking-wise, you get to play with a little more impetus, surely.
They've given the ball away, and Chong runs through and is fouled, and we've got our first yellow card, and it's for Alcivar of Ecuador, and they just gave the ball away there, and then away went Chong. He's got great energy, and Alcivar brought him down, and we've got a free kick and a chance for Curaçao's players to draw some breath into the lungs and to put a set piece in.
It's a good opportunity. It's a foul that almost had to be made, really, to try and just delay that attack. Chong's exceptional at how quickly he can get onto a loose ball and drive away from pressure. Really effective at doing that.
Little chip dinked ball from Curacao into the Ecuador penalty area. He's headed away, but only as far as Chong. Back to goal. Oh, and he's had it taken off him, and away go Ecuador with a bit of space ahead of them for once, and there's a foul by Bacuna, and we're going to see a yellow card here for Leandro Bacuna, the captain, the 34-year-old. He just got there late, but I think it's one of those good yellow cards, if you can have them. because they were away, weren't they?
Almost a similar situation, although this one's a little wider, and the free kick that Curacao just had a bit more central. Chong should have just sent that right back in. So many players forward, he lost it. Plata just went to the attack. I think Bakuna actually thought he could get there. It's quite a heavy touch from Plata, but he couldn't. He beat him to it, and he took him down. Fairly cynical. In contrast, though, Ecuador choosing to just go short, which I'm not sure is to their advantage, which maybe back to your point, you know, it's all fine and well being a little more defensively minded. I think when you get then set pieces, things like that, can you look to be a bit more creative? Can you look to lean on other moments of the game to maybe be a bit more effective in that final third? Short play is really difficult. Curacao very organised.
Well, that's nice. And Estupiñán gets into a good position, and then it's some good defending. Really good defending back there from Curacao, from Brennett, and it's through to the goalkeeper. Takes the deflection off him, but they did get around the outside there. That's the way they're going to get through, isn't it? You feel like in the wide areas they've had a little bit of joy.
Yeah, they have it a little bit, and there was just an example of it. Sometimes it's not about always playing with high tempo, it's sometimes about that change in tempo and the little give and go there to get in behind the full back helps. You know, you sort of slow it down, you draw them in, and then it can be two little short passes, which you need to do because Curacao are so compact. As you say, the 5 and the 3 in front are in close proximity. There's not a lot of room to play with. Got to be precise.
Ball over the top, keeper comes out, Rome. Ball in grey/silver with a bit of camo on the bottom of his shirt and then his shorts, and he claims the ball in his pink gloves and kicks long. But Ecuador win the first header and the second ball, and Curacao got 3 players ahead of the ball, and the ball's rolled out to the right-hand side. Some good skill, but just showed a little bit too much of it to the defender there, and Curacao get possession. They're giving it away again, though, and Ecuador in possession near the halfway line with the Champions League winner, William Pacho. Estupiñán for Ecuador. It's a nice little ball towards Ana Valencia, hits the back of his head. Estupiñán, big chance here for Ecuador, good save from the goalkeeper. Parried it away. Yeboah's shot, left-footed, was close to him, still had to do a bit though, Rome, and he's made a few good saves so far in this game.
He has. I tell you what, Florinas did really well, and as it rebounded out, he just used his body, didn't let Yeboah get a second chance at it. Cleared the danger. Lovely little opportunity. Opened his foot, tried to bend it round. Another very good save. Almost dangerous when the goalkeeper parries it out like that.
Coming up to the 42nd, to the 43rd minute of the game. And it's 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Rachel Causey alongside me for this commentary. Ecuador in possession, trying to find one before half-time. If Curacao can get into the break at 0-0, it'll be job done for them. Their first finals. Here go Ecuador, ball through towards Ana Valencia, formerly of West Ham United, of course, and it's picked up by the goalkeeper. Rome again, spelt Room, pronounced Rome, and in his white boots, pink gloves, he rolls it out underhand, and then a bit wasteful, the long straight ball looking for Locadia is intercepted. Running with an XG of 1.18 Ecuador compared to Curaçao's 0.15 at the moment. Curacao in possession, looked like a free kick that. Referee doesn't give it. Curacao come up with possession. Maybe they can break through the middle. Good run, good ball. Locadia's running away from goal, but they've got a few forward in this attack. He's got Pacho with him, but he's won a throw-in. He's done well there on the far side. He's a stocky fella, Locadia. Not the quickest, and he's 32, strong. But Pacho so quick.
He
closed him down so quickly.
I almost felt Pacho knew he was going to go backwards. If he'd have just fainted and turned the other way, he was probably away from him, because Pacho had really gambled on the fact he was just going to take that touch negatively, which he did do. Won the throw-in though.
Long throw, headed away by Ecuador, but Curacao have got possession back. And it's with Chong. 30 yards from goal. Passing the ball around quite crisply now. Juninho Bacuna loses possession. Thumped back in. That's when they try that longer ball. It's not working for Curacao. Now Ecuador will try a long straight ball through the middle, and it's always through the goalkeeper. And that's a passage of football that should just be forgotten about.
I said before the game about the highest level being on this stage, but those last few minutes were not the best. I think just lumping it forward, we're edging close to that half-time mark, but you got to do better than that. A little more culture on the balls forward.
Curacao look all right when they knock it about, and then they randomly panic and play just a direct waist-high thump into the Ecuador half, don't they?
They're doing that. Do you know that the long ball's not the worst idea for them with someone like Locadia up top, because as you say, he's got the stature to hold it in, but it's nowhere near him.
Plata has possession for Ecuador. They're in possession midway inside the Curacao half, right-hand side. Franco. Hincapié, bit of space ahead of him. On the overlap is Estupinian. Standing on the ball, Curacao back in their shape, midway inside the Curacao half. Good pressure. Vite has to knock it back. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, which is basically the minimum these days, pretty much, isn't it?
There will be a minimum of 4 minutes of
You don't see
additional time.
much less than that because of the hydration breaks. Ecuador have got it 5 yards inside the Curacao half. 0-0, 5 live. Chipped ball forward over the top, looking for Estupinian. And a clash of bodies back there. Gari and Estupinian. And I don't know what the referee's given.
Well, I'm not quite sure the referee needs to blow his whistle 6 or 7 times there. I think both players, it was coming together, goalkeeper had it in his hands, the defender and attacker were in and amongst it. They were both fine, they helped each other up. He's given a free kick by the looks of it, which there wasn't a free kick to be given. It was all fine, I think.
Yeah, that happened a lot in the game. Well, it's happened a lot through the World Cup. Happened a lot last night. The El Salvador, Turkey, Paraguay. The referee just blowing the whistle when the whistle doesn't need blowing. I mean, players confused on the pitch of what was going on quite a lot of the time. Chong for Curacao in added time at the end of the first half. Comancia with a shot from distance. Comancia there with a left foot shot, didn't get hold of it, but in a good position.
He didn't, not his preferred foot, but he does have that creativity about him. He's eager to get goals. He's got a good record.
Ecuador in possession. 2 minutes of the 4 added gone at the end of the first half. Can Curacao hold on till the break here in Kansas? Estupinian, Plata knocking it about Ecuador near the edge of the Curacao penalty area, being patient. Estupinian, good football this, and Hincapié. He's got a chance to cross left-footed, deflected, keeper keeps it in, does he? Yes, did well there. Hincapié thought it had gone out. The assistant on the far side said no. Well done, Rome, who's still got the ball in his hands. And he prepared to roundhouse kick long. Bounces, they've let it bounce here. That looked like a foul, was it, on Locadia? Yeah, given it. Free kick for Curacao in the last minute of added time at the end of the first half. He was basically on his back, wasn't he, the defender?
He was. It was Pacho, and he found himself wrong side. Locadia did really well, just used him and almost spun him around, and because he was so intent on holding on to him, he got himself in a position where he really couldn't win the ball, and the only way to do it was to hold on and try and come over the top of him. very unnecessary. And this is a dangerous area, good position.
Can they find something, Curacao, at the end of the first half? They've got a free kick with a chance to deliver right-footed, and there are 6 in and around the edge of the penalty area. In it comes, right-footed to the far post. Oh, they've won the first contact. It wasn't a bad little knockback, you know, but it fell to an Ecuador player. Great challenge. Oh, he's not given a free kick there. That's a great tackle. And they've thrown the ball away, and he's going to get booked here. It's Comenencia who's won the ball. He's got a little bit of his shirt, maybe, but it looked like a great tackle in real time.
It did look like a great tackle in real time. I think it's the nature and how he goes. It looks like one of those sort of scissor kick jumps into the tackle, but he's coming from behind. It's not sort of one of those ones that's he's fly into it. They're both running in the same direction. He's just reaching round with his foot. I think probably that's what the referee's seen from his angle.
Half time, 0-0. I mean, they should have been ahead with Ena Valencia early, but Rome made a good save. And then a first-time effort from Valencia. It goes a yard either side of Rome, and it's in. They're the 2 main chances, I would say. A few half chances for Curacao, who've done okay after the 7-1, because that would have been a bit of a shock to the system against Germany.
It would have been. It was a tough first game for them to start with that, but they've done very well. Defensively, they've looked very, very good. As you say, that first chance for
play, I like to have freedom, and I think he gave me that, and he's giving me that. So that's something for me that is really important, and that I can bring my best game out. So yeah, about that, really happy.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Morning Footy today.
And a nice cut too. You must have traveled the barber with you, or I don't know or you got a family member who can give you a nice cut. But that's looking good.
Yeah, all good. Thank you very much.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much.
Pepperami Doritos Barbecue Sweet Tang, a new bold meaty choice.
What a reverse, by the way. Sweden won the first match 5-1 and now lost the match 5-1. As a player, Kai, how would you be feeling with what a turnaround it's been for the first 2 games for them?
A complete swing. And for me, the first question that I asked right there was, is the Swedish coach going to have to go? Because after Sweden did that to the last team, to Tunisia, their coach had to go. They had to take a marching order. But as a player coming into the dressing room, coming into the locker room after the first half, it's definitely not one of those things that you're, looking forward to. You're saying to the rest of your teammates, listen, we can lose this game, but let's make sure we keep the score below a certain number. Right. But then when you go back outside and then you come back in now it's 5 goals. I don't think it put them in any good position.
That's a great point. In this format especially, you can't concede that many goals. I mean, they win the first one 5-1, so that's great, right? Because with 3 points it's possible, but then you lose this one 5-1. This is a lesson for teams, and when people say, oh, why does a team go out there and play reserved? Why does a team go out there and play in a low block? Why does a team... Because if you go toe-to-toe, if you're not... you don't have a very good, accurate reading on what you guys are, and you go toe-to-toe with a team like Netherlands or a team like maybe Germany, whoever, and you don't have the tools to compete with them, this is what happens. 5-1, it was an easy game. It was bully ball from Netherlands. I thought they were comfortable a lot of the time. Yes, some half chances from outside the box for Sweden, but Netherlands, they sent a little message today with this performance.
It's so true, because goal difference is massive, isn't it? And that's kind of erased everything now for Sweden. Yeah, it has. It was a reality check. And I think for me, this is a lesson in quality. And like Grella says, yes, you beat Tunisia 5-1, great. You can ride that momentum, ride that confidence in it, but you're facing Netherlands now. You know that they've got very good players, quality players playing the highest level, and it should have gone into the game, yes, I wouldn't say a negative mindset, but also knowing that you're facing top quality opposition. I think they should have made it a bit more difficult. But when you look at the goals that Netherlands scored today, a lot of them were very preventable for me. It was just naive defending, a bit lazy, and you'd have to say that Netherlands really bullied Sweden. I think that's how I would describe it today. Netherlands went out there today and bullied Sweden. I think Bronny made a massive difference for the Netherlands side. Bro was so good, wasn't he? Were you surprised, though, Kai, with just how dominant the Netherlands were today, or were you expecting it?
I wouldn't say surprised. They're a team that has that, high caliber players that's supposed to deliver in that way. Again, look at them. Look at the fans. Look at the way they showed up in Houston and the heat like that, and they're ready to play. So for me, the way they scored that many goals. I mean, we expect that, and we want that. We want to see that from teams like that to make statement wins, and that's a statement win to me. One of the plays that you're talking about, you know, the transition. Isaac loses the ball, Netherlands transitions right away for a goal for Gakpo. That's amazing because it's saying you make a mistake on this side, we're gonna you know, pound on that mistake and make you pay for it.
But I think against Sweden, when you look at them as well defensively, they should have been a lot better. They weren't good enough defensively. That's not a good enough performance. You're talking about the World Cup stage, especially a nation that.
If you've been wearing glasses for more than 5 years, stop scrolling.
Got good expectations. I think that they weren't convincing when you even talk about the qualifying situation that Grella alluded to early on in the show. But you can't lose in that manner there. I think once it gets to 3, then you should be a lot more doggy to say, all right, we're just going to be solid, see it out. If we lose, we lose. But to concede 5, like you just did against Tunisia, it just means basically now that Tunisia result isn't as great as it looks in the first place.
And also it kind of leaves things out of their hands, doesn't it? For now, we'll see tomorrow with Japan and Tunisia, and Sweden could find themselves in a position on the final match day where they're just hoping to get in through one winning themselves and then other results going their way as well.
Yeah, and unlike every other tournament, if you do qualify in the 3rd position, you're playing a first-place team, and you're playing one of the best teams in the tournament in the first round. So you're making it so difficult because then, you know, there's 5 games to get to win the whole thing. So it's still a lot of football to be played. You really want to get into the 1st position or 2nd position where you play a favorable matchup and you have a favorable run to it. But again, they played 6 games in qualifying. They conceded 12 goals. So this is not something new that they concede goals, 2 goals a game. So yeah, I think Kai makes a good point. You got to start looking at the manager and saying, hey, players are actually not bad. You know, we went through obviously the strike.
I don't want the manager to go.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, you did. You kind of brought it up to say you got
to ask the question though, because they got Hien in the back, they got Ilanga, they got Jokeres, they got Isak. Between the 2 strikers, they got over $200 million pounds worth. So you also have to say, okay, the manager can't say, well, I don't have the guys. I mean, no, you have the guys. You have a good team. And now this is a smaller sample size in the World Cup that we're getting. But the bigger one was through the qualifying as well. So the guys are there. That performance is probably not going to be acceptable back home in Sweden.
It is really interesting, isn't it? Because you look at the attack of the Netherlands. Yes, they might have £200 million up front, but the Netherlands spread the goals around today. We're going to have a look at some stats from Brian Broby, who you talked about, Nigel, earlier, and obviously what we've seen him do for Sunderland. But you were really impressed with his performance today, Kai.
I really, really was impressed. Listen, I'm a center striker, and I want to score goals. I want to be at the right place at the right time. I want to have teammates around me that's giving me great supplies, and that's what he was getting. He comes into this starting lineup. He didn't start the previous game, comes into this one, he delivered, and it's something that's really, really good for a striker like this. So we look at it. Listen, he's seen all the other strikers, the Haalands, the Messis, and everybody's putting up numbers in the game. So when he has a chance in a game like this to be able to get 1, 2. I was hoping he would get the 3rd goal, so he can really put himself up there, but he's not able to do that.
And
but
the match ball, by the way.
I think he's going to be happy with the 2 goals.
For me, when you look at him, Poppy, he's got attributes that other players in the Netherlands squad don't have. And again, we talk so much about traditional number 9s. That's what he is. And sometimes when managers and coaches, they go into games, they might over-analyze things. And here we see Gakpo there on the left-hand side. And the thing about Gakpo that frustrates me at times is he doesn't change his game that much. He doesn't think too much about the game. He'll always go down the left, and what he'll do is come back and cut inside on that right and whip the ball in. He does it all the times, and even when he took his goal, he took it well. But for the bigger picture, Brommy, for me, does something that all the other players don't. We talk about Marlin starting today as well. He wants to run off shoulders. He's not really the best when it comes to hold-up play. And I think his hold-up play today was a big difference in this game. Held the ball up well, spins, doesn't stand still, just really the description of his first goal, held it up, laid it out wide, span. Wasn't a fancy run that these 2 guys, gentlemen next to me, could probably tell you more about runs and timing, but it was just a straight run into the box, very similar to Lukaku when he came on for Belgium. So I think the attribute that he has with this current Holland team suits them better when he starts. I think it would have been a big difference maker if he had started against Japan.
And I think that's what he's trying to show the coach, to be honest. As a player, as a striker, you don't get that first start. You're looking to start. You want to start. You want to play. And this is the World Cup, like you mentioned earlier. As a striker now, he says, look, this is what I can help the team with. This is what I can give. And the coaches has to go in now and look at this game and compare it to that Japan game and say, maybe this is the way, forward.
Yeah.
We might have had another plan. This is how we wanted to go with Marlon and Somerville, who also came on and had a goal, by the way. But they do have weapons. For me, Netherlands is saying, you guys are talking about all these other teams, all these other countries. You need to be mentioning us in the top 4 when you're considering teams to win this tournament.
He's played his way into the team. With that performance there, he's definitely played his way into the team.
It's crazy as well, looking at how many times they've become runners-up of this competition. Well, yes, OK, some of them were in the 70s, but back in 2010. Lately, though, even in the last, decade, you've always thought of Netherlands as a team that's a bit of a dark horse in competitions like this. Where would you place them? Would you say that they're a dark horse, or would you say that they're a real competitor?
I say they're a dark horse still, because I think when they play again, there's another level of teams in France and Spain. Maybe even you could start to put England in that conversation as well, but then they're just a level below that. So I don't know if you qualify that as a dark horse level or a level of competition, because then there's a Portugal there and a few other teams. Germany might be in there as well. Senegal, Morocco could be in that group as well. So I don't know how you want to classify them. But every time I think of Netherlands, I think of football. I think of 4-3-3. I think of the high press. I think they've changed the game so many times with their culture of football and how they play the game, and well respected for being very good footballers. It's crazy that they don't have a World Cup. When you tell people they don't have one, it's kind of like a shell shock if they don't know that stat. So can they get one here? I don't know. They're in a pretty good spot right now.
They're an outside runner.
Legends in the game, but it's honestly fair to say that they're the biggest underachievers when it comes to international football, for the quality and the players that they produce, and
and England,
the history that they've got. With 1966, you forget?
What's that kick called where the player uses the other leg behind to kick and it looks really sick?
Was it for Germany today? But 6 points now in 2 games. They're safely through.
Yeah, you see the manager celebrate, Nagelsmann. You see him celebrate what it meant to him. He was intense about the result. I think they fought back well. They had obviously a very good second half. They put their football plays together. Still not the sharpness that you would have imagined. Undav, obviously with the 2 goals, was a great substitution, so that will make him very happy too, that he's able to make that change on the bounce at halftime. But for me, I saw a game that Ivory Coast gave to Germany. That's the game I saw. I saw Ivory Coast that was very good. Compact, physical, defended well, created plenty chances to score. And then I would summarize the entire game with saying the last goal is what Germany has, is what Ivory Coast didn't have, the detail. He's onside by a half a yard. He takes 1 touch out of his feet, bang, clean finish. Thank you very much. See you later. Ivory Coast, Adringa on the other side, that is a second half substitution. The ball gets laid into him, takes an extra touch, goes away from him. Kessie had 2 moments where if he takes a cleaner touch, he's got another 2 goals. That game's to bet. So as much as you can do 99 of the 100 things you need to do good in a football match, you still have to have the detail. I think that's the beauty of the game. Like, technically, you still have to get that piece right. And Ivory Coast will look back at this and say, they'll go to their checklist and they'll say, yeah, we did that, we did that, we did that, we did that. And then the last one will be like, were we clean in front of box, in front of the goal? And that one, they have to be able to change.
It's so true, Nige, because they're going to feel like they lost it today, which maybe hurts even more.
They got what they deserve. They got punched in the face. That's the reality of it. You talk at Grella, exactly what Grella explained is 100% right. For me, I look at Ivory Coast. Yes, we give them all the flowers, how great, how far they've come as a nation in what they're doing now. We want to talk about in that next step. The next step is exactly that. Be more ruthless in front of goal. They had enough chances and good opportunities in today's game where they could have easily won this game by another 2 or 3 more goals. And it's the fine margins. The impact of Undav, we'll talk about probably a little bit more later on. And you talk about Adingra coming on. That there could have been 2-1, Ivory Coast, great historic win in the World Cup for them again against Germany. But for me, they got what they deserve. They got punched in the face because they're not taking themselves in that next level of that seriousness, that ruthlessness. You want to win something, you want to win tournaments, that ruthlessness is what counts. When it comes to games like this against good opposition, even though they're having an indifferent game, where Germany, for me, is still not convincing. They're not that nation that you could say is dominating games, and that they presented so many opportunities to Ivory Coast, they didn't take it. And that's what happens when you play good nations. Even on an off day, they'll find a way to win, and they did it. Made attacking substitutes, and it's a striker who comes on and gets that goal again.
So true. Even though they won and they're through, are you convinced, Kai, or do you feel the same as Nige with this Germany side?
Germany has to be happy going in after this game and saying, you know what, we still got 3 points. We still ended up winning the game because, yes, the performance wasn't really there overall. They didn't do it overall. But again, another thing is Undorf. We're talking about striker, and he's like, okay, I'm that guy that you guys are looking for, but you don't see me. And he's put on the performances in the past, I don't know, 3-4 games, even before the tournament. So he's showing that. But for Ivory Coast, really, really difficult. If you play a game like this, almost a complete game. So just that little bit of detail that they were just missing. Yes, it's the finish. We want to talk about the chance that Ndinga gets at the end, but we talk about the goal scorer, Ivan Kessie. After his goal, he had 2 more good chances in the box. The touch wasn't clean enough to be there. So that's a little more detail that Ivory Coast needed, that Germany pays for, and that's what they get.
It's so true. Just by the way on that, if you are Dennis Undav and you're a striker, would you be thinking, I need to start in the next game? Has he done enough to be able to prove his case, or are you thinking, as a striker, okay, I understand my role here?
I think, personally, I think he's done enough. Personally, I think he's done enough. But when it comes to the coach and the manager...
It is the home of the Kansas City Chiefs, and the ball from Curacao is immediately put out of play, a bit like Bournemouth do, deep in the Ecuador half, where they'll try and hem them in. Rachel Corsi is alongside me.
Substitution for Ecuador.
And I like this. Listen.
Player number 5, Jordi Alcivar, replaced by number 11, Kevin Rodriguez.
I quite like the stadium announcements, especially as a commentator, because during the subs, you don't have to do them. This American voice just does it for you. So you've just heard what the sub is there for Ecuador. Handy.
And just trying to see how it landed, isn't it? It's what you would expect to be some sort of attacking or attack-minded change. It doesn't look like there's much change in terms of formation yet, but that's a midfielder off and an attacking player on, which Ecuador really needs. I think first half they weren't creative enough, they weren't good enough in the tight areas. And again, they're just trying to clip a ball in behind. It is a substitute himself who's tried to play it Rodriguez. Really tight angle, too tight really, and it just bounces away and out.
Kevin Rodriguez on. Alcivar goes off, one of only 2 players in the Ecuador squad that actually plays in Ecuador with Independiente. Curacao got possession, 15 yards inside the Ecuador half, and given away by Fonville. Plays in the Eredivisie. Much of these Curacao players do. In fact, most of them born in the Netherlands. Tahith Chong of Sheffield United is the only one who's actually born in Curacao who's in this Curacao squad, but there's only 156,000 people on the island, so about the same size geographically as the Isle of Man. So it's amazing that they're there. It's near Venezuela, the Caribbean, as they've got some defending to do. Comenencia clears the ball away. Camera pans to the Ecuador coach, Sebastian Becasese, the Argentine, who's got a bit of Claudio Caniggia about him, actually, when you talk about Argentinian footballers with the long, sort of dyed blonde hair. In his case, is Ecuador in possession. Curacao organised behind the ball. Dick Advocat, this is more like it, he'll be saying to his players. Dick Advocat's got them qualified for the World Cup. Curacao, as an Ecuador player goes to ground. Referee right there, Chinese referee, says no free kick, and it's a throw into Curacao. And I think there's 2
free kicks in a row that he's not given to Ecuador there, or could have given. He's let them both go.
Certainly, I felt the second one on Estepinan probably wasn't one, but the first one certainly right through the back. The ball sort of went by both players, partly because the Curacao player tried to come flying through the back, didn't get it, took the Ecuador player down. Ref just put both arms out, said carry on. And he's done that a lot. I know it's just as the half-time whistle went, both sets of players, less so the Curacao players, but both sets of players wanted to speak to the referee, and I think potentially it might be something to do with that. He's let not really just continue.
Ecuador in possession, deep in the Curacao half, low cross into the penalty area. They've got the ball with the substitute, Rodriguez. Now they've still got it edge of the penalty area. Think about a shot. Maybe a shot from distance now, and the goalkeeper, Eloy Rome, falls to his right to claim it. Strike from Moses Caicedo, and didn't get all of it.
He didn't. We've seen this season good years from that distance. Scored a couple of wonderful goals for Chelsea. Sort of took a long time for them to shift it to him. He didn't get it there that quickly, and in the end, Curacao bodies between it.
Plato opened up for him on his left foot from 25 yards, and well, he skied it. That's gone miles over the bar. Having a look at another look at Caicedo's effort, goes through the legs of the defender, and a daisy cutter. Just didn't quite get hold of it, a bit too central. And the goalkeeper read it well, just fell on it. Rome, nice soft hands. And we're still at 0-0 on 5 Live from the BBC and BBC Sounds. Every World Cup game for you, live. Hello to the taxi drivers doing the late night pickups. And all you truckers out there. 2:10 in the morning. With Ecuador in the centre circle, in possession. Yeboah cuts in on his left foot cross, comes off the Curacao defender inadvertently, and goes back to the goalkeeper, Rome. Came off Gari, and Rome claimed it.
It was a good whip delivery from Yeboah, on that left, as you said, and good pace, probably a difficult angle, but trying to get the ball into the box, trying to create something. I don't think Ecuador particularly go forward with great numbers. Not many people in there, it's always asking a lot.
Ecuador on the attack down the left-hand side of Curacao, ball in yellow. Challenge goes in. Did you get a little bit of the ball there? No, he didn't. I think he thinks he did. Gari, the defender, and he's arguing that now. Piercing blue eyes. And it's a free kick to Ecuador in a really dangerous position. Does he get a little toe on this? No, it's a bad foul. He really complained about it like he'd got a touch on the ball. I believed in Rachel.
You fell for it. You fell for it. The referee didn't, and he got to the right decision, but he was absolutely furious about that foul being given. It's clear as day.
Chances the referee's got. That was so convincing, that acting. Honestly, I really believed he got a touch on that ball. He was so angry. It's the eyes, it was the eyes. Free kick for Ecuador's on the left-hand side, midway between the penalty area and the touchline. They've got 6 in the middle, jostling for position here, Ecuador. In it comes, good delivery, headed away though at the near post. Curacao will get it clear down the left. Can they pick this ball up? Ecuador win possession. Challenge goes in. Off the ball. Another Bacuna. But Juninho Bacuna, off the ball challenge. Referee was right there. I've got to admit, I didn't see it because it was off the ball.
He must have maybe just caught, almost ran into him and stood on him potentially, just inadvertently. Curacao trying to press off that initial clearance. A few players charged out quickly. A little bit careless.
And the announcers give the yellow cards as well. Quite nice. They also tell you to look at the screen for replays, which is a bit weird. And some of the announcers, I think, sound like AI. Free kick for Ecuador. The scorpion kick. Can they bring up possession here? And a shot towards goal is over the crossbar from Plato. Got underneath it. And that whistle is Dick Advocat in his white shirt, lanyard round his neck. He's taken off his jacket. Little wasteful. And still, in this second half, they've not really tested road in the Curacao goal.
They haven't, and I would say that summed up Plata a little bit. He's been lively, he gets in the ball, he's tricky, but he's had a few attempts already, and a couple in this half too, and they've just been miles off it. He's just needing to maybe take a breath before he strikes.
Yeboah, bit of space for Ecuador, ball into the penalty area. Estupiñán keeps it in. Gets it to Ena Valencia, their leading scorer. Needs one more to hit 50 international goals, well over 100 caps for Ecuador. Here's Plato, right-hand side, goes to the byline. Does he overrun it? Did it get a touch on the defender? We wait and see. Curacao fan with a big old beard. No, it didn't get a touch off a Curacao player, did it? It's just Plato ran it to the corner flag as if it did. There's a fan there for Curacao with a big old beard and a bald head, and he's painted in his entire head blue, and he's wearing a blue cape, and it's not just his head he's painted blue, he's painted his beard blue, his eyelids are blue, inside his nostrils are blue. There's not a single trace of his own coloured skin there. And there's a late challenge.
He's off.
He's not, is he? He's only, it's Comencia, isn't it? And he hasn't been booked yet. But now we've got both Bacuñas and Comencia have all been booked in that midfield, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember in the first half there was a decision given against him. And remember, he sort of threw the ball. He went to sort of bounce the ball hard off the ground, and we never saw the yellow, but we both mentioned, oh, that could be a yellow. And that's what I thought when I saw that yellow card coming out. I mean, that challenge itself was on the edge, you'd have to say. His boots are high, sort of stamping towards the ball. He did make contact with the ball, but it's sort of the aftermath of it that always runs the risk.
What we have to listen out for is the stadium announcer going,
you're right,
yellow card for the number 8 for Curacao.
That's what you have to listen out for. At least then you know, don't you?
I'm glad you did the accent and didn't ask me to.
Curacao in possession. They've got a little break on here, and they've got 4 forward in this attack. And it's Bacuña who just went for a shot. And he had 4 runners ahead of him, 25 yards from goal. Says sorry to everyone with 2 hands, and I'm not surprised. They've got to be better in transition than that.
They do. It's a strong decision. It's, you know, you're breaking forward, good intensity. You've got 3 players in the box. You've got an option wide as well on top of that. And you're trying to shoot from 22, 24 yards away. Yeah, okay, you get it back yourself, and you've maybe got one from that distance before, but I think you've those bodies forward and it's a quick attack. You've got space to work in. Try and shift something, try and create something that's a good opportunity, not something where you're hoping for a understrike.
Ecuador in possession midway inside the Curacao half on the left-hand side. It's 0-0, 5 live from the BBC and BBC Sounds. Little 1-2, Curacao intercept, clear away. Is Chong fouled? No. Ecuador in possession, left-hand side, cross from deep, headed away by Curacao. Chong brings it down on his chest. Head tennis, bit dangerous this, and yes, intercepted by Plata, and now corner. Just a little bit lax, trying to play out from the back, or just trying to just be a bit too cute back there, Curacao, and they've conceded a corner.
Just went for the cushion header back to Brennan, and he had no idea that he didn't have time to delay. Just got caught sleeping in it for a moment. He did really well, he got back, but he's had to concede the corner.
As it stands, both teams, their World Cup still alive. But Ecuador pushing. Corner from the left. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger. In it comes, centre of the goal, headed up in the air, big chance, parried away. Overhead kick, still not clear from Curacao. Now it is. Rome makes another save. I mean, it was routine, but there was definitely danger there. And away goes Bacuna. Juninho Bacuna in possession for Curacao. And now maybe a little bit of space for Locadia on the right-hand side. Keeps the ball in play. Ecuador have now got players back. Comenencia spreads the play to the left-hand side to Fonville. Up from left back. Strokes it back to the centre-back Florinos. And now a shot comes in from Bacuna, and it's parried away by Ecuador's goalkeeper. And now his brother keeps it in play. Comenencia with a big chance, saved. And now the follow-up, Locadia. Again, it hits the goalkeeper. It's the closest Curacao have come. Perhaps they should have done better. The goalkeeper in there. Galindez made some good saves. But my goodness me, they were living dangerously there, Ecuador, and Curacao showing what they can do.
Oh, brilliant saves. Brilliant saves. The first time, Comenencia takes 3 touches. I think you get that away in 2. He just didn't get out his feet enough. He's about in the penalty spot when he strikes it. Really gets a good connection, though, and it takes a good save from the goalkeeper. Locadia, great effort from him then on the rebound. I actually think it's Caicedo who actually disrupts the shot, and then it ends up just sort of hitting the goalkeeper second time around. Doesn't know too much about it. And then they hash the ball clear, but 2 amazing opportunities for Curacao, and really well worked. Some wonderful play in that final third to create those chances.
Will that be their big chance? Although their big chances, long throw on the far side, and they let it bounce, and that wasn't the best from them. And then the goalkeeper will volley it long, deep for Enner Valencia. Challenged well. Curacao have possession with Chong near the halfway line. Turns away from Estepinian. Good football from Curacao, but Plato did really well there to get back. And now they've got it on the left with Valencia. Enner Valencia, their leading scorer, corner of the penalty area. Might fancy a shot, and does, and tries to catch the keeper before he'd set himself, but he drops to his knees and takes it comfortably in the end. And a good little passage of play, good little couple of minutes of football, that.
It has been, and it's actually better for Ecuador if Curacao can have a bit of the ball and create some opportunities, because it really opens the game up. Allows Ecuador to have a bit more room, to be a bit more direct themselves, which is when they typically have found that joy. Right now they're sort of walking the ball forward, and these are the patterns we've seen so far in the game where they find it difficult. They don't have much combination or creativity about them. Just too sloppy, once again, really loose.
Vite it was, and here goes Chong on the attack. The former Manchester United Academy graduate. And now Juninho Bacuna on the left-hand side. Cuts inside on his right foot and is dispossessed, and no foul here. And they've played out of defence, and Curacao with a challenge, and they've still got possession here, Ecuador. Down the left-hand side with Rodriguez. Rodriguez into the penalty area. Left foot shot, and wide of the target. And some of the crowd thought that was in because it hit the advertising board, then hit the back of the net. And it's going to be a goal kick for Curacao. Just watching a replay of that chance, it was a header from Plato, wasn't it? Plata. I mean, it's comfortable for Rome, but he got some good distance on it. And then here's the chance again we're watching now for Curacao. And Leandro Bacuna's right foot shot was good. And then Comenencia was a good save from the goalkeeper. It comes through a crowd of legs, doesn't it?
It does. Fairly close range. You're probably talking about 10, 11 yards there. I can't really see it. He sort of just shovels it down to his left-hand side. Gets there early and uses his arms and his body to just get away from danger. Ball's still alive, though. Neither his defenders to help him, and what came next.
73% possession, Ecuador. 15 attempts at goal, 9 on target. Whereas Curacao have had 9 efforts at goal, and 2 of those have been on target. And Ecuador have won a corner on the right-hand side. Franco's ball forward, deflected. And corner kick for Ecuador.
It feels amazing to think they've had 9 on target. It doesn't feel like they've had that many chances. I think some of those potentially have been longer range efforts.
You feel like Ecuador really need a win, don't you, with Germany next?
Yeah, it feels like this is the game for them if they don't win this.
Left-footed in, swinging corner. Flicks off the head, and it was Rodriguez, but it's behind for a goal kick to Curacao. Another one with the bleach blonde short hair. And a goal kick for Curacao, and we've played 64 minutes. 64 minutes gone in Kansas, at the home of the Kansas City Chiefs. 0-0. Curacao in possession. Ball over the top towards Locadia. Back there is Pacho to tidy up. And he's in possession now. One of the Cerise boot gang. Ecuador over the halfway line into Curacao territory. Yeboah down the right, gets out, hold of the ball near the corner flag, has to check back onto his left foot. Little 1-2, little drag back. Got three in the middle waiting for a cross. In comes a good-looking cross, downward header Valencia, another save from Rome, the goalkeeper. What a game he's having for Curacao.
Outstanding once again. It's a brilliant ball, wicked ball from Yeboah. Coming in on that left-hand side, causing real bother, great intensity. Shifts it a few times, then really gets out his feet and whips it towards the back post. It's quite overhit. The run was from Valencia. He anticipated it, got good contact on it, into the near post. Rome with a really good save, good hand.
Corner for Ecuador from the far side. Right-footed in-swinger headed towards goal. Another save from Rome. Still not clear. Valencia against the legs of the defender, and it's into the arms of the goalkeeper again. That must be 10, 11 saves now from Rome in the Curacao goal. And there are shades of the Cape Verde goalkeeper here. It's a brilliant save from Enner Valencia. His footwork, his anticipation for the downward header, and then from the corner, he's had to be sharp again. A lot of them have been straight at him, but yeah, he's still got to save them.
He still has to save them, and I can't believe that's not going in. I think the first header is a good save, then it falls to someone else in the 3-4 yards out. They just drill it right against the defender that was in front of them. I think it was Florenas. Just sort of hits him, and you can't really do much more than that, I suppose, as a forward. It comes at you quickly, get it on target. Defender, huge element of fortune, right place, right time there.
Curacao need the end of this quarter. Sorry, the hydration break. Locadia turns away in possession for Curacao, and then is dispossessed and is given it straight back to Ecuador. Left-footed cross. In it comes, and a volley, and headed away by Curacao. Curacao in possession with Chong. Looked like he was fouled. Definitely was fouled. And it's going to be a free kick to Curacao. Midway inside his own half. Midway inside their own half. Done really well. Here's the header again. Was straight at the goalkeeper, then a shoveled effort. Brilliant defending back there from Curacao. Did so well there, Florenas, as you mentioned, Rachel.
Yeah, just, I say right place, right time, but it's intentional. You know, you position yourself to a defender in that area intentionally. You're going to get your body between the ball and the goal, make yourself big, stand up brave. He does that. He tries to get as close as he can right as the striker's away to just get his shot off. And yeah, it's unbelievable stuff, really. That had to be a goal, and it's moments like this you just wonder, it's going to be one of these days for Ecuador. They could play for hours and they just might not get that goal that they so very much need.
Shots, 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 shots. It's a hydration break, and they're not going to be doing those, obviously. But yeah, some wet towels around the shoulders, and chance for a little team talk. And out goes Sebastian Becasese to have a chat with his players, the Argentine. What will he be saying to them? I mean, they've come as close as at any point in the game to scoring in the last 10 minutes. Then Curacao have had those couple of chances on the break, you know, still very much up for grabs. I mean, this will be an incredible point if Curacao were to be able to hold them. Ecuador, 19 games unbeaten coming into this tournament, and dark horses, as you mentioned a little bit earlier on. But let's see whether they can withstand this pressure from Ecuador. Just watching a little replay of some pushing and shoving in the penalty area, and then the header towards goal. And then this chance for Curacao. It's a great bending effort from Vicuña, rolling back the years. You can imagine him doing that for Aston Villa. Doesn't do a lot wrong, does he? Comenencia, who scored their first goal, or their only World Cup goal against Germany, but just a bit too down the middle, wasn't it, in the end?
It was, and I think if he can get his first touch out his feet instead of having to take that, he sort of doesn't get out his feet, and in the end almost has what feels like 2 or 3 touches. It kind of just bobbles in front of him and he shuffles it a little further forward. That just allows Ecuador to get out and up against him. So by the time he gets his shot away, he's kind of hurried. You know, if he can get that in one, out your feet and finish, I think he just side foot that firm into the corner, whereas he doesn't really have that option by the time he hits it, because there's the players have come out and closed him down. So that'll be what he probably feels is a little frustration of that. But that said, great save from Grundes as well. The Ecuador goal. He's touched on those Rome saves. It's opened up. It's been lively in the last 10 minutes. And I would expect in what the time we have remaining, there are still going to be chances for both teams. Both teams very much look dangerous. Defensively, both have been very good so far.
Angulo has come on for Estupiñán. Just going to wait for the stadium announcer actually to give that substitution. Come on. He's taken it by surprise. Stadium PA.
Substitution for Ecuador.
Here he goes.
Player number 7, Purists Estupiñán, replaced by number 20, Nilson Angulo.
Angulo. I love his voice. He's got to do adverts and stuff, do you think, with that voice, how deep it is? I reckon he's got his own studio in his house and he does like adverts and things. So deep and rich, that voice. Like Ron Burgundy. Ecuador going down the left-hand side. Good challenge, Curacao. Comenencia gets it to Icardia, but didn't look like a foul. Looks a bit soft. He went down easily. Ecuador coming forward. Good defending. Really good defending back there from Obispo of PSV Eindhoven. And then Chong drops a shoulder and gets a little bit of space. He's been really good to Hith Chong. He's really relieved the pressure. And he's in possession again, and he's drawn a free kick, surely. Oh, not given. Curacao can't believe it. Look, he was pushed over. Ecuador have got possession midway inside the Curacao half. Running from left to right, Rodriguez. And they've gone sideways and back. Is that what that hand gesture was about? And now a shot from distance! Saved by the goalkeeper again at the near post. It's a save you expect him to make, but it was struck really well.
It was. I actually think it comes through his hand and bounces off his knee.
It was Angulo, and Angulo in possession again, jinking his way into the penalty area. He's injected a little bit, and now a chance maybe to shoot from distance. And now Yeboah on his right foot, deflected and hit the defender in the face. They are getting everything in the way of it. Florinus has been hit square in the face. Yeah, it kind of you're right. Sort of hits him in the thigh, does it?
I just thought potentially.
Oh no, it is his left hand that scoops it away, isn't it?
I still think it potentially is his knee, because it just flies so firm.
Yeah,
shoots way out for a throw-in, but either way, gives his body hand, knee, bit of both maybe.
Oh, I know why he goes down clutching his face, because it did actually hit his arm. It hit his hand in front of his face. It wasn't outside of his silhouette of his body, but that is why Florinus might have gone down clutching his face like he did. I think it did flick his face as well, to be fair. Corner for Ecuador. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from Yeboah.
17 minutes plus added time remaining. In it comes. Left-footed free header over the bar. Massive chance. Hincapié should score.
Well, that's a sitter. I don't understand how someone like him can be free. He's not marked. He's centre of the goal. Best part 3-4 yards out.
Doesn't jump.
He just doesn't almost believe it's coming to him. I mean, that is such a good opportunity. It's Gary that's meant to be defending. I don't know if he's tripped, but he's almost, his head's down at Hincapié's waist. He's nowhere near affecting him. It's really unfortunate.
Bacuna for Curacao. Lovely turn. Left foot shot deflected. Saved by the goalkeeper. He just put out a right hand and stopped it. And Ecuador coming down the other end now. Oh, and that's a deliberate foul from Gary, and he gets a yellow card. And Fernandez was away. So again, it's kind of a good yellow from Gary, and he gets a few high fives because I think he needed to stop him.
Well, it was either work back and defend a scenario or just stop it there and then, and that was the option he went for, potentially. Because it's getting to that stage in the game where you're a little more fatigued. You think, will I do the extra work, or will I just call this a foul for now?
Well, Gore is coming on, and we're going to see the end of Juninho Bacuna, who's coming off. Obviously, the stadium announcer will do this. I don't want to take his job away. Gore, the number 14, comes on. Of Maccabi Haifa. Van Elgma on as well. And Margarita as well for Curacao. And Chong comes off. Well, I've got to think that Chong was fatigued, or I don't see why you take him off. I just think he was the outlet. I think everything that they sort of did in transition came through him. But let's see, some fresh legs on the pitch anyway for Curacao, and they probably need them. Hincapié, into the penalty area, byline, cuts it back, cleared away. Up towards Locadia. I thought he would have been the one to come off, really, Locadia at 32. Meanwhile, Ecuador put across into the penalty area. Yeboah brings it down, goes down a little too easily, probably. I'm not saying he wasn't touched, but he's gone down clutching his ankle. Meanwhile, away come Curacao. Over the halfway line. Running with the ball is Gore. He's done well there. He's run the ball all the way up the left-hand touchline. He gave it to Locadia. It wasn't Locadia. He gave it to another Curacao player I can't see on screen at the moment. He's gone down. And meanwhile, Ecuador have got possession on the left-hand side with Angulo. Now with Vite. Angulo again, corner of the penalty area on the left-hand side, 0-0. 13 minutes plus added time remaining. In comes the cross. Header towards goal, and guess what? The keeper's there again. It was Ana Valencia's header. And Eloy Rome
number 7
claimed it again.
Replaced by number 14 Kenji Gore.
Just getting another look at that penalty that Yeboah was after. There's a little bit of contact, but as you called it, certainly not enough. And as there was a little bit of contact, I think he felt that. But I'm just going to go down and see what I get. But the referee's given very little today, so no surprise he wasn't really bothered for that one.
Five live from the BBC on BBC Sounds. Throw into Ecuador on the left inside their own half.
And the total attendance for this match is 68,598.
Gosh, I love his voice. I wonder if he does audiobooks. I would buy an audiobook if he was voicing it. So 68,000, the capacity of 76,000 is a really good effort for this. Lots of Ecuador fans inside the stadium and some smatterings of blue as well. Ecuador in possession. Can Curacao hold out? 12 minutes plus added time remaining. Good challenge. They've won possession of the football. Then they've lost it again. And Ecuador have got it. Caicedo. Enner Valencia. Pacho. On the left, Angulo. A little bit of skill from him and goes down, and the referee is right there and said no free kick. And the Ecuador fans don't like that at all, Rachel.
They don't, and the referee at the moment is just out of picture, but it was almost like there was a little bit of back chat towards him, and he was quite happy to give some of that chat right back. I quite like that he's let a lot go. I think he's missed a few things. I think there have been a few fouls that he hasn't given. I think there's been other moments when he's just, you know, a few players looking for things, he's not had it.
Shot from distance goes in, and there's another save from Rome. It was Vite with a left foot drive this time, and this danger still isn't clear. Fernandez's cross deflected behind, corner for Ecuador. They've all been saves that you think in the Premier League the keeper makes the save, but they're, you know, they're decent efforts. They're well struck, aren't they?
They certainly are. He's got to make the save, and I think what he's done really well is he's made sure every save he's made, if he's not held on to it, he's got it well away from the goal. You know, and that's, we've seen a few mistakes when keepers keep the ball alive in the area. He's made sure the ones that are hit firm, if he can't hold it, gets it well off to the side, away from the goal. Buys everyone time.
Corner comes in, it's a high looping one, header one by Ecuador, headed behind for another corner by Curacao. So they'll get another chance to put it in. 10 minutes to go, plus added time. Rome of Miami FC is having the game of his life at 37. In comes the corner, headed away at the near post by Curacao, straight up in the air. Ecuador get possession back. Plata's got a chance to cross on his right. Good defending, sliding challenge goes in, and it comes off Plata. And it's going to be, what's it going to be? Is it a corner? It's a corner. Is it?
They're going to change it. Yeah. They've used that rule where they get the chance to correct the decision, because I think it did clearly come off.
Vite strikes good. I mean, it's literally swerved. It was straight at him, but his positioning's been good. And here's the effort from Juninho Bacuna, which was deflected, which the keeper bats away with a little deflection.
Yeah, that's a really good save. As Franco just comes off the foot of, and it takes it outside the line of the goalkeeper's body. And it's that arm that's just extended.
And that was the Curacao effort at goal. 9 minutes plus added time remaining. Surely Ecuador need to win this to stay in the World Cup. They've only been out the group stage once, and it was in 2006 when they played England. In comes a cross from Yeboah, overhit it. Was almost perfect, but just overhit, looking for Enner Valencia. And it's behind for a goal kick, and now the cramps begun for Curacao, and I'm not surprised.
It's Locadia who's just getting stretched off. And yeah, I think I was surprised, like you, that he didn't come off. He's got an orthodox running style, but in the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes, he's looked a little more uncomfortable, doesn't move freely.
Looks a bit laboured, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, he's worked incredibly hard. He's not had the most amount of service, but you've seen him dictating some of the pressure, asking players around him to drop off, make sure the shape's right. He's done his bit. He will have covered a good amount of ground. Just suffering.
Eloy Rome, by the way, the goalkeeper. We're going to see a substitution, but don't worry, our stadium announcer will let you know about it. Franco's going off, and Preciado has come on in his place. I feel bad taking it off the stadium announcer, but Bacardi is going off. The goalkeeper Rome says he's sharp.
Sorry, here we go. Sorry. Player number 21, Alan Franco, replaced by number 17, Angelo Preciado.
Preciado.
It's great, the pronunciation. He's much better than us. I have to be honest.
Miles better. Preciado. Preciado.
Get your ass back in the technical area. No.
Apologies if you just heard an American swear in the background, picked up by the microphones.
A double substitution for Curacao. Player number 8, Livano Conveniencia, replaced by number 6, Hotfried Rumeratu. Also number 9, Jürgen Locadia, replaced by number 19, Ervana Katzener.
Katzener comes on as well. Thank you, Mr. Stadium Announcer. I'm going to look him up after this. Ooh, strong challenge on the halfway line. The referee's let it go, though. And here is Angulo for Ecuador. Little ball through. Chance! Valencia wide. Big chance for Enner Valencia again. Head coach can't believe it. Itches his beard, down on one knee. The coach didn't take a flick off a defender or a goalkeeper, or did it? We're about to watch the replay. No.
Well, I actually think the defender...
Oh, yeah.
The defender gets there first, and then as Valencia is mid-motion, he then kicks out of play, and it looks like it's a miscue, but it's actually... The defender does remarkably well. I think it's Brennett gets his foot on, and it's a brave challenge, because if you get that wrong, you've got every chance of being a foul if it's not a goal. But he gets there. It's a really good boot.
6 minutes plus added time remaining. Ecuador 0, Curacao 0. A lot of fresh legs on the pitch now. Challenge goes in, cleared away. A man dressed as a colourful bird supporting Ecuador is pictured in the crowd. That is elaborate, and there's some worried, hopeful-looking Curacao fans with the flags painted on their faces and dressed in the Curacao blue. Is blue Curacao the cocktail from Curacao? It probably is. I've not done that bit of research. Do you know what I mean? The blue Curacao?
I know the one you mean. It wouldn't be my choice.
It wouldn't?
No.
When I was younger, I think I put a few of those away in a cocktail.
They do look quite sweet.
Yeah. It's a Caribbean liqueur flavoured with the dried peels of the Lahara bitter orange.
There we are.
We're learning stuff. This is the stuff you have to dredge up when it's 0-0 in the World Cup between Ecuador and Curacao, and it's almost 3 in the morning on a Saturday. Ecuador in possession. And they've got it with Yeboah, corner of the penalty area, and now some space. They're queuing up in the middle. In comes the cross, cleared away by Curacao again. They have been absolutely brilliant defending. Ecuador have got us throw-in on the right. They must be wondering, is it just not going to be our day? Are we not going to find a way past this goalkeeper? They've had 15 shots on target. I don't know whether that quite equates to 15 saves, but it'll be almost up there. 15 saves by Eloy Rowe. They've overrun that, and that's good play. And Curacao have got possession, but they give it away. And they've just got to try and keep it, because this last 3 minutes plus added time, they get a point still in this World Cup after 2 matches. After a 7-1 defeat to Germany on the opening day, I mean, it would be a story.
Be an incredible story.
Yeah, for the smallest nation ever to qualify for the World Cup. And for Dick Advocat as well, whose daughter hasn't been well, and he actually left the job to care for his daughter while she was ill. And then the period in between, when he wasn't in the job, they lost heavily a couple of times. He was brought back to the job in May for the World Cup. So I'd be pleased for him as well, as the oldest manager to manage at the World Cup at 78 as well. He's such a good football man. So there's a couple of nice stories if Curacao can find their way to a point here to stay in these World Cup finals. But Ecuador, with Germany next, know they probably need to win. I mean, in a lot of ways, playing Germany with Germany in possession and then trying to counter and sitting in a low block will be more familiar to them, because that's the way they've qualified.
Will be. I just feel that there's still some time here. I feel Curacao they're tired now. They've made a lot of changes, even in that 7-1 defeat. Dick Advocat only made 3 changes. I think depth is something they maybe don't have lots of, but he's had to make changes, some tired legs.
2 minutes of added time remaining. And he screams at himself there, the Curacao defender, Florinus. And we're going to see another change. And we're going to see Jordi Caicedo come on for Ecuador. And Yeboah's gone off.
I thought Yeboah was starting to have
Substitution
last 10 minutes. He's been the one that's looked lively. That last chance came down this right-hand side. Combinations between him and Preciado. Sorry, I spoke over your speaker there. I apologise.
I was going to say something because we missed his lovely pronunciation as well. Jordi Caicedo. Ecuador in possession. Chance to cross. Hits the top of the crossbar. He didn't mean that, but the keeper was beaten and it pinged off the top of the bar. And a bit of luck for Curacao.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. Preciado on his right-hand side. It bounces, it comes to him. He takes his touch, and then on the half volley, just gets a lovely amount of spin and whip on it. And it actually at one point looked like he was just going to dip into that far corner. In the end, really, actually a poor delivery. He's trying to cross it into that back area. Difficult with it bouncing as it was. Chose to take it on the bounce.
With the directors over there, we miss so many restarts for slow motions of things that are unnecessary. Forward go Ecuador. This is a chance for Plata. I don't know why he didn't go for goal. Went for a low cross. He was in on goal. Maybe a bit of tiredness. He tried to square it instead, and it was cleared away again by Curacao. We've had the 90 minutes.
Just five added.
Five added. That's it. Only 5. With all the subs and the hydration break.
I mean, that just can't be right. We've had so many stops for changes. Really surprised at just 5 minutes.
Me too. Can Curacao hold on? The blue wave, the Black Panthers. In comes the corner. Cleared away, but not well enough by Curacao. Ecuador still have possession, all in yellow on the right-hand side. They've still got 6 in the box. In comes the cross, headed away again by a blue head. Ecuador get possession back again. That looked like a free kick. Referee says play on. That will not be allowed to play on, and it's a yellow card for Hastania, the substitute for Curacao. So a free kick for Ecuador.
A yellow card. Caution has been issued by the referee to Curacao number 19.
Yellow.
Hervana Castaner.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Castaner. Caicedo's going to take this free kick. There are 7 Ecuador players in a line across the 18-yard box of Curacao. Can Eloy Rome, the goalkeeper, keep them out for the last 3.5 minutes of added time? 5 live from the BBC and BBC Sounds. Caicedo, high, deep, too deep. The keeper let it go. It was kept in. Was it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Hincapié was coming around the back and he didn't get to it in time. It's a really poor free kick. At this stage of the game, to overhit that free kick with 7 players in the box is unforgivable.
Yeah, it really is. And I never took free kicks. I was always in the middle for it, hopefully. But I always just thought it doesn't need to be the perfect ball. At this stage of the game, it needs to be in an area where you can attack it, have a chance.
Here come Curacao. Will they have a last chance? Well, it was a ball from Gore, square, which I thought was going to be taken into stride in the penalty area by Curacao, but Ecuador have got possession. 2.5 minutes of the 5 added remaining on 5 live. 0-0. You feel like Ecuador's tournament could be in this next 2 minutes, else they'll have to go and beat Germany to qualify for the next stage of the World Cup. Pacho of Paris Saint-Germain plays a forward ball. Curacao hack it clear. And Curacao will gamely chase after it. The clearance is sliced, and the Curacao fans will greet that like a goal because they've got a throw-in inside
the Ecuador half on the right, and you just pan then to a teenage fan with a wispy moustache, bright green eyes, screaming at the top of his lungs in a Curacao shirt that they just won that throw-in. And Ecuador have got possession back with their goalkeeper. 90 seconds of the 5 remaining, and Galindez hoofs it up in the air. Curacao win the header, but it goes backwards. Ecuador have got possession. They'll throw everything at this now, surely. In comes the cross. Curacao snake out a tired leg. Was that a push in the back? The referee allows play to go on. 6 Ecuador players in the box. In it comes, hooked in. Runs all the way through to Hincapié. Does he keep it in? Does he keep it in? He does. Now it's with Enner Valencia. Enner Valencia into the penalty area. Goes down under a challenge. Did he just stumble or was he tripped? Referee says no penalty. They'll have a look at it. Here's Angulo. Angulo for Ecuador down the left. Low cross in, almost an own goal. Oh my goodness, Bacuna. He put it behind for a goal kick, for a corner, but from our angle, looked like it was going in the top corner.
Oh. I mean, it's fizzed into the box, and it was it Romerato? It has one of those swipes. It looked from our angle, it was just going to fly into that bottom corner, somehow gone wide. Goodness me.
Right, have we got a check? Have you seen the replay of the penalty claim?
I just missed it there.
We've got a VAR check. No, check complete. Check over. Corner for Ecuador, and this might be it. They've taken it short. In it comes, left-footed. Curacao win the first contact and the second. And our Chinese referee, the whole world holds their breath. What was that whistle for? We've seen no hand signal.
It's silent.
And it is full-time. I mean, I've never seen a full-time whistle like that before. But that is an extraordinary moment for Curacao. The smallest nation ever to play in the World Cup finals. The same size as the Isle of Man. And they've managed to hold Ecuador, one of the pre-tournament dark horses. It's the Black Panthers, the Blue Wave, and Dick Advocat is in tears. And so are some of the Ecuador players. They know they needed to win it. And the hero is another goalkeeper in this World Cup. How many Instagram followers will Eloy Rome end up with after this? The 37-year-old of Miami FC made over 15 saves in the game and had a brilliant, brilliant game for Curacao. They've worked their socks off, and Ecuador could be heading out. Well, they both could be heading out. But what a moment for that tiny Caribbean nation. It finishes 0-0. Rachel Corsi.
Oh, an amazing point and an amazing performance. You know, to have lost 7-1 in the opening game, to be depleted like that, yeah, it's difficult. It's so difficult, and they've turned up tonight. They've been so disciplined. The work rate was remarkable. The defensive structure, the discipline,